Hey everybody, Sean Bukowski here. Hope everybody's doing well this week and staying warm in this freezing cold weather here in Texas. This is awful. This is not why I came all the way down from Michigan to get away from this stuff. But I hope everybody's having a great week. I want to talk a little bit about a legal concept this week in the real estate world, and that's what I'll start with. People generally get into a partnership with somebody, whether it's personal or professional. Usually they're getting into it for the best of intentions. They want it to succeed. They want to do well. They either want to make money or love or whatever. They want it to succeed. But unfortunately, as we know, people being people, they don't always work out. In fact, I think probably the majority of partnerships that end up eventually failing. And the question then becomes, well, what do we do with the property that we have acquired together? How do we get rid of it, or who gets it, or whatnot? And there's something when dealing with real property, which we talk about, obviously, real estate and real property all the time here. When dealing with real property, there's a concept called partition. So when you can't figure something out, you can potentially lead to a partition. But what is a partition? That's what we're talking about today, is a partition. And what is a partition? It's when you can ask the court or somebody to divide up a piece of land so that the partners all get an equal share of it, or some kind of equitable share, maybe not equal, but equitable share of the land. The problem with using partition with real property is it's often hard to divide up land like that, especially when there's an improvement on the land. Like if it's just vacant land, then maybe you can't do it. Like you can divide up the partition the land so that everybody gets an equitable share, but when there's an improvement on it, it makes it very difficult. And so what happens often is when the process is basically you file a petition seeking the court to order a partition, and if the court can't really divide the property, what we'll do is force a sale, and at that point the court will say, okay, we're going to force an auction here, and then the parties will split the proceeds. And that process can be really fraught with a lot of pitfalls. One, it's expensive, especially if it's contentious. You're going to have lawyers involved in the entire process. Two, you have to sell the property, and they're going to sell the property at auction, which, who knows what kind of price you're going to get for that. Potentially less than you could if you sold it during a more appropriate time, and you have to sell the property right then when it happens, and that might not be the most advantageous time to sell a property. So a partition, while it is a valuable resource in the real estate world, it might not be the best resource. Frankly, we always try to suggest the parties sort it out themselves before, when there's a split. It's going to be a lot cheaper. It's going to happen faster, and you're going to ultimately come away with more money in that scenario, and likely happier. So partition is a tool that lawyers we can use to get the partnership assets split, but really it's not the best tool. And if you can figure out how to divide the property yourselves or come to some solution yourselves, that's usually a much better solution than you going to the courts and ordering partition. Hope you like this. Please have a great week. Stay warm and subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel and our blog. Thanks.